An Israeli F-15 cuts through hostile skies, fuel dropping fast. Every mile brings the jet closer to the edge. Every second demands perfect precision. One mistake and the mission could fail. Above, a U.S. KC-46 Pegasus tanker hovers silently, invisible but vital. Thousands of liters of fuel are ready to flow, connecting fighter and tanker mid-air in a high-stakes operation. Success depends on timing, coordination, and split-second decisions. The fighter approaches at hundreds of miles per hour. The boom extends. Fuel begins to transfer. One misalignment, and the jet could be stranded over enemy territory. Analysts warn, without these tankers, Israel's ability to strike long-range targets would collapse. The sky holds the secret lifeline most will never see, but it decides the fate of every mission. If the hidden mechanics of modern air warfare fascinate you, subscribe now. You won't want to miss what's coming next. Israel's military strategy has always relied on speed, precision, and the ability to strike before adversaries can react. Its fighter jets, though highly advanced, face a fundamental limitation: range. An F-15 or F-16 on a combat mission can only travel roughly 1,000 to 1,200 miles without refueling. This constraint shapes how Israel plans every operation. Mid-air refueling changes everything. With U.S. tanker support, Israeli aircraft can extend their operational radius by hundreds of miles. Targets, once out of reach, suddenly become accessible, giving Israel an unparalleled strategic advantage in the region. This partnership is not casual. Every mission requires precise coordination between Israeli pilots and U.S. tanker crews, often thousands of feet above contested or hostile airspace. Timing, altitude, and approach all must be perfect. A single mistake could jeopardize the entire mission. The implications go far beyond mechanics. Mid-air refueling enables surprise strikes, rapid responses to emerging threats, and a credible deterrent against regional adversaries. In modern warfare, what is unseen, the tanker floating silently above, often matters more than what is visible on the battlefield below. Historical background: from limited range to strategic reach. In the early years of Israel's Air Force, range was a constant limitation. Fighter jets could only reach targets within a few hundred miles before needing to return to base. Every mission had to be meticulously planned around fuel limitations, often forcing pilots to fly closer to danger or abandon objectives entirely. During the Yom Kippur War of 1973, these constraints were painfully clear. Israeli aircraft had to carefully ration fuel while navigating hostile airspace. Missions were often delayed or aborted because refueling options were limited, highlighting a critical weakness in operational flexibility. As Israel modernized its fleet with F-15s and F-16s, the need for extended range became even more pressing. Long-range strike capability wasn't just an advantage, it was a necessity. Targets deep within adversary territory required flights that would exceed the natural combat radius of Israel's aircraft. This gap was bridged through cooperation with the United States. Mid-air refueling transformed operational strategy, allowing Israel to reach targets that were previously out of reach. Tankers became silent partners in every long-range mission, ensuring that Israeli pilots could execute strikes with precision and confidence. By the 1980s and 1990s, tanker-supported operations were no longer occasional. They became a standard element of Israel's long-range planning, a force multiplier that expanded Israel's strategic options while maintaining the high-speed, high-stakes edge the Air Force depended on. Technical overview: how aerial refueling works. U.S. tankers are the unsung heroes of long-range missions. Aircraft like the KC-135 Stratotanker and the KC-46 Pegasus are capable of carrying tens of thousands of liters of fuel, extending the operational reach of Israeli fighters by hundreds of miles. These flying gas stations are vital for enabling precision strikes far beyond Israel's borders. The process itself demands extreme precision. Israeli jets must approach the tanker at hundreds of miles per hour, matching speed and altitude perfectly. A long, flexible boom extends from the tanker and connects to the fighter, allowing fuel to flow mid-air. Even minor misalignment can lead to aborted refueling, wasted time, and increased risk over hostile territory. Multiple aircraft can be refueled in a single mission, but timing is everything. Tankers often fly in designated air corridors, maintaining radio silence and relying on strict coordination. Every maneuver is calculated, every second critical, and every drop of fuel carries strategic weight. This coordination isn't casual. Israeli pilots train extensively for mid-air refueling operations. They simulate high-stress conditions to prepare for real missions, where one wrong move could leave them stranded far from safety. The result is a silent, invisible partnership between the U.S. and Israel that enables rapid, long-range strikes with unprecedented precision. Beyond logistics, tanker support shapes strategy. It allows Israel to plan attacks against targets previously unreachable, maintain flexibility in response to emerging threats, and sustain a credible deterrent. In modern air warfare, these tankers are not just support, they are a lifeline, a hidden backbone of strategic power. Strategic significance, force multiplication in the sky. Tanker support doesn't just keep jets flying, it multiplies Israel's strike power. With mid-air refueling, Israeli aircraft can reach targets hundreds of miles beyond their natural range, hitting strategic sites deep within adversary territory. This transforms the Air Force from a regional defender into a power capable of rapid, long-range operations. The advantage is not just distance. Tanker-supported missions allow Israel to strike with surprise, hitting targets before enemies can react. They also provide operational flexibility, letting commanders redirect aircraft mid-mission if threats emerge or opportunities arise. Every liter of fuel delivered in the sky extends Israel's strategic reach, often determining whether a mission succeeds or fails. In conflict planning, these capabilities shape adversaries' calculations. Nations in the region must account for Israel's extended strike potential, knowing that geographic distance no longer offers guaranteed protection. This invisible extension of power, the tanker hovering far above, changes the dynamics of deterrence. Moreover, tanker support allows for coordinated multi-aircraft operations. Multiple fighters can refuel simultaneously, maintaining a continuous presence over distant targets and creating a sustained threat that is difficult to counter. In essence, the sky becomes a strategic chessboard, with tankers moving unseen pieces that can decide the outcome before the first bomb is dropped. Do you think Israel's reliance on U.S. tankers gives it an unstoppable edge? Share your thoughts in the comments below.
One of the most notable examples of tanker-supported missions involves Israel's deep strike operations against high-value targets. These missions often require flying hundreds of miles into hostile airspace, sometimes over territories equipped with advanced air defense systems. Without mid-air refueling, such operations would be impossible. During planning, every detail is calculated. Routes are chosen to minimize detection, timing is synchronized to allow refueling at precise intervals, and tanker crews coordinate silently from thousands of feet above. Pilots know that a single miscalculation, wrong speed, misaligned boom, or fuel mismanagement could end the mission before it begins. Historical operations in the 1980s and 1990s demonstrate the importance of tanker support. Israeli jets relied on U.S. tankers to reach targets that were otherwise beyond their operational range. Analysts note that these missions not only require technical skill, but also a high level of trust between Israeli pilots and U.S. crews. The invisible partnership above the battlefield made the difference between mission success and catastrophic failure. Even in hypothetical scenarios, such as rapid response strikes against emerging threats, tanker support is critical. The ability to strike quickly, far beyond national borders, forces adversaries to constantly calculate Israel's extended reach. The tankers themselves remain unseen, but their presence changes the strategic picture entirely.
These operations highlight a key fact: the success of long-range strikes isn't determined solely by the aircraft or the pilots. It's the combination of precise planning, mid-air refueling, and seamless coordination that enables Israel to project power with unmatched precision. Modern implications and regional impact, shaping deterrence and strategy today. U.S.-Israel tanker cooperation continues to play a crucial role in regional security. Modern tankers, combined with upgraded Israeli fighter jets, extend the country's operational reach farther than ever before. This capability allows Israel to respond quickly to emerging threats, maintain strategic flexibility, and conduct precision strikes across the Middle East. Adversaries in the region must account for this extended reach. Geographic distance is no longer a reliable shield. The presence of tanker-supported operations means that Israel can strike distant targets with speed and precision, forcing potential opponents to constantly adapt their strategies. Beyond direct combat implications, tanker support reinforces deterrence. Nations aware of Israel's extended strike capability may hesitate to act aggressively, knowing that any escalation could trigger a rapid, coordinated response. In this way, the invisible tanker in the sky shapes not just missions, but the broader strategic landscape. Technological upgrades further amplify this effect. Modern tankers like the KC-46 Pegasus offer enhanced fuel capacity, better communication systems, and improved refueling accuracy. Coupled with Israel's advanced fighter jets, these capabilities ensure that Israel maintains a credible and flexible long-range strike force. The result is a strategic dynamic where unseen support in the sky directly influences decisions on the ground. Tanker operations may be invisible to the public eye, but their impact resonates across regional security calculations, shaping outcomes before any engagement begins. Even the most advanced tanker-supported operations are not invincible. One of the biggest threats comes from modern air defense systems. Advanced radar networks and surface-to-air missiles could detect or target aircraft, forcing pilots to alter routes or abort refueling missions entirely. The margin for error is razor-thin. Political and diplomatic factors also pose risks.
Require access to certain airspaces in international cooperation. Heightened tensions or restrictions could limit tanker deployment, potentially grounding long-range operations when they are needed most. Adversaries may also attempt electronic warfare, jamming communications between tankers and fighters. Even a momentary disruption in coordination could force pilots to disengage, disrupting timing and jeopardizing the mission. To counter these threats, Israel and the U.S. invest heavily in training, stealth procedures, and contingency planning. Tanker operations are carefully choreographed with multiple backup routes, advanced threat detection, and constant communication monitoring. Every mission is planned with redundancies to minimize exposure and maximize mission success. Ultimately, the lifeline in the sky is a critical but vulnerable asset. Its success depends not only on skill and coordination, but on constant vigilance against threats that could sever the connection and reshape the strategic balance. Despite their importance, tanker-supported missions are not without risk. Flying over hostile airspace carries inherent dangers. Aircraft can face advanced radar systems, surface-to-air missiles, and unpredictable weather, making mid-air refueling operations highly complex and high stakes. Technical challenges are equally critical. Tankers must maintain precise speed, altitude, and course to safely refuel fighters. Any mechanical failure, misalignment, or communication error could force a mission to abort, or worse, leave aircraft stranded far from safety. Every drop of fuel delivered in the sky is meticulously calculated to avoid disaster. Operational coordination is another challenge. Tankers and fighter jets must communicate seamlessly, often under radio silence or in contested environments. Scheduling multiple aircraft for refueling while maintaining secrecy adds layers of complexity that require intense training and planning. Political and strategic risks also loom. Israel's reliance on U.S. tankers makes coordination subject to diplomatic considerations.
International scrutiny or political tensions could potentially limit access to tanker support, impacting mission planning and strategic flexibility. Ultimately, while tanker support greatly enhances Israel's long-range strike capabilities, it is a high-stakes endeavor. Every mission balances risk and reward, precision and speed, in a silent dance hundreds of feet above the ground, where one mistake could change the outcome of a mission or even a conflict. Future developments, expanding the lifeline. The story of tanker-supported strikes is far from finished. Both Israel and the United States are continually upgrading their capabilities to extend reach, increase efficiency, and enhance safety. Newer tankers like the KC-46 Pegasus offer greater fuel capacity, improved communication systems, and more precise refueling technology, allowing longer, more complex missions with reduced risk. Israel's fighter jets are also evolving. Upgraded F-15s and F-16s, along with the potential integration of next-generation aircraft like the F-35I, are designed to maximize the benefits of mid-air refueling. These enhancements allow deeper penetration into hostile territory, faster mission execution, and better survivability in contested environments. Emerging technologies are also reshaping tanker operations. Automated refueling systems, advanced sensors, and improved navigation tools could reduce pilot workload and increase the precision of high-stakes aerial refueling. The combination of these technologies promises to make long-range strikes even more reliable and efficient. Strategically, these developments reinforce Israel's deterrence. Adversaries must now consider not only current capabilities, but also what could come next: faster, further reaching, and harder to counter operations. The invisible lifeline in the sky is becoming smarter, stronger, and more integral to the balance of power in the region. The hidden force behind Israel's reach. Tanker support is the backbone of Israel's long-range strike capability. Without these mid-air lifelines, many missions would be impossible. The precise coordination between Israeli pilots and U.S. tanker crews ensures success high above hostile territory. This unseen support shapes strategy and deterrence. Distance is no longer a shield, and every tanker in the sky expands Israel's options for rapid, precise, and flexible strikes. The story of long-range strikes is not just about jets or pilots. It's about trust, coordination, in the invisible infrastructure that makes modern warfare possible. If you found this deep dive into the hidden mechanics of modern air warfare fascinating, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications to explore more inside stories of strategy and power.